Hey guys, it's Doodly Squatch coming at you with another draw this in your style prompt that I found on the Instagrams. So let's just jump right into it. Here we go. So this was an image from a fellow named Leo Vincible, and it just jumped right out at me because it's right in my wheelhouse. I love fleshy, explodey things, like just stuff like that. So I sort of took the prompt and wanted it to be a dude sitting at his computer, as I am usually doing, and sort of build it into that. I think what drew me into this was just that visceral kind of fleshy explosion. Pardon me, got the coughs. And that harkens back to just my childhood even. I think back to the things I enjoyed watching or creating. Beetlejuice, the scene where he scares them and his face sort of explodes and you only see from behind what's going on. And I wanted to know what he looked like. What was he doing? So I would try and draw that. Or Judge Doom from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, finding out he was a toon, and he's wearing a mask. So what did he look like? What kind of toon was he? Was he a dog? Was he a rabbit? That sort of thing. I remember recreating that scene a lot as a kid with Play-Doh. I'd make little Play-Doh guys and then steamroll them with my mom's rolling pin and do the whole what a world and that sort of thing. And I'm sure it was a little macabre, but I was entertaining myself. But trying to figure out what he looked like. Or later on when I was older and watched The Thing for the first time, oh my gosh, that that movie is so good. It's so darn good. Regardless of age and time and how long it's been, improvements in technology, all that jazz. The practical effects are just chef's kiss, pristine, beautiful. Oh my gosh. I remember as a wee lad watching the Sci-Fi Channel, and there was a commercial that had a clip from The Thing in it, and it's right when the guy goes to shock him with the paddles and the guy's chest opens up and it's a mouth and it bites him, and oh my gosh. And for me that was phenomenal. I couldn't get it out of my head, and I pursued that forever until I found the movie it came from, because this was pre-internet, kiddos. I couldn't just type that junk in and look for it. I had it just had to sort of sit on the back burner and wait for me to see that scene again or something from it and sort of figure that out. What a time we live in. I love it. But just seeing that scene drew me into that so much, and I'd always draw these guys just sort of exploding into like tentacles and teeth and eyeballs, and having either I remember I would mash like two people together and show where they're sort of melding and just a lot of wrinkles and stuff like that. And that was my art for the longest time, just doing that over and over and sort of figuring that out. So you can definitely tell why this guy's stuff jumped out at me, at least this particular image. It was really fun, and I don't know, I experimented a lot, trying to lay out lighting first to sort of guide where things go. I've been drawing forever, but I'm still learning stuff and still learning how to put the right contrast in and lighting and color's still a beast. I can always lean on, I'm colorblind, but being able to at least have something be visually pleasing to me, hopefully translates over to other people. This, the final product of this, I'm quite proud of. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So I've been looking forward to recording the audio for this, just to be able to sort of just shout praises to this Leo Vincible guy, and then just talk about some of my favorite goopy monster scenes. Another one that comes to mind, there was a movie called Freaked. It had both the fellows from Bill and Ted, but Keanu Reeves only played like a small role in it, whereas let's see if I remember the name. I think it's Alex Winters, maybe. Editor, help. Anywho, in the movie Freaked, they come upon this freak show, and the guy that runs it, he's actively making freaks. So he's got a machine that pumps out this goo, and then he puts it on you, and who knows what happens. And two people, a guy and a girl that just hate each other, he mushes them together, and they become this, Siamese kind of conjoined twin looking guy. And that was interesting. But then the main character, he's this, like scuzzball actor, working with the company that makes this, nasty chemical that's, bad for the environment. And he's supposed to be turned into the ultimate monster, this, thing, but the guy's machine ran out of goop. So he's only half made. So half of his body is just this grotesque, green, yellow-eyed, rat fink looking mofo, and it's so well done. And I'll say it again and again. I love practical effects. I love that they sort of stand the they stand the test of time. You watch Honey, I Shrunk the Kids now, it looks just as good as it did when it first came out. Whereas you watch Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, it looks like balls because it's really bad CGI from the time it was made, and that's improved greatly. But practical effects, they're there, they're being recorded, the lighting's there, it's all real things, it's not some blue screen. So with Freaked, all the monsters are just these, it's just latex abominations. I love it. They're so scary, and the humor is very childish, but what can I say? But the way they're presented in that, it really is like a Ratfink cartoon, like come to life. Seeing what at least the main character's monster, and then the super fan that gets turned to a monster at the end. Spoilers! Not that any of you clowns are going to watch it, but I guess it's coming up on an anniversary for that movie. So they're re-releasing it. Some fancy collection. Who knows? Fun fact: the one of the pirates from Pirates of the Caribbean, he was in that movie as a guy called the Eternal Flame, who was farting fire the whole movie. He's one of that duo. The other one has the wooden eye. He's the one that's like, hello, puppet. Him with the beard. Ragetti, I think, is his character's name in Pirates. But he's in that movie. And just fun rando fact, I guess. Bless my soul. Excuse me. This was an interesting drawing to get through. Again, trying to get as much of the coloring down before putting the outlines on. That way it goes for a more painterly look rather than some comic book or cartoon. That's always a struggle for me, so it's I try and challenge myself as often as possible when it comes to that. So I feel like I did a pretty good job on this one. But what do you think? Any of those movies ring a bell? Anybody have a favorite movie monster? I'd love to do my own versions of that sort of thing. I love having something to, something to springboard off of, just to be able to work in that direction. But yeah, otherwise, sorry this video's late. Life gets in the way, having children and all, so that's just how it goes, unfortunately. But this remains fun. I'm still enjoying it. I was talking with a buddy of mine who he has his own channel. Let's see if I remember it. It's called Jack Roasts Coffee, I believe. And he's got a background in, you know, like film and stuff. So his stuff is great. I freaking love it. But we were sort of amping each other up because, you know, he's like, I don't know if I want to keep doing it. I'm like, keep doing it. And side note, Stygian Satyr is my oldest username ever. It's the one I've had the longest. So I figured, you know, it looked kind of fun here. But yeah, that I believe I made that username when I was about 15. So I've been using it for a bit, a good while. Anyway, back to Jack Roast Coffee. You know, just talking about how, you know, making these videos, it's more for us than for those that are watching it. And, you know, when people enjoy it, it's a joy. But, you know, relying on others to sort of fulfill that particular desire, it can't end well. So, you know, sort of self-motivation kind of wins out in the end. But it was a good chat, and Jack's a swell guy. So always good to bump into a fellow creative type and sort of boost each other up. And in that vein, I encourage all of you, if you're thinking about doing something fun, do it. You ain't getting any younger. No, take it from me, please. Anywho, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want me to draw. Give me a monster. Give me anything. But hope you have a good day.